All right, so we're going to get started here and show a nice, quick, easy way to get a image that has been drawn, taken a picture of, and now you can convert that to a nice graphic that's nice and smooth and ready to be customized, colored, and so on. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start off as if the program just opened up, and first I'm going to go to Open and locate the drawing that you have taken the picture of, and you're going to open this up, select it, and then hit Open. Now I've got this giant drawing here on top of an artboard, just a generic artboard that we're going to customize first. So I'm going to go to Artboard tool here. I'm going to go to my Properties panel, and I'm going to change the width and the height, the W and the H. So I'm going to hit 3 here and hit 3 here. And that shrunk it down quite a bit, which means my image is very, very big. So what I'm going to first do is crop this image. I don't need some of this background. So I'm going to go down here on the Properties panel and hit Crop. I drag these little sliders in and get rid of a lot of that extra space that I don't need. So it's less work that I have to deal with later. Once that's cropped, I'm going to hit Enter. It's cropped everything, but I still need to resize it to fit on this artboard. And close that out. With my selection tool, I'm going to hold Shift on one of these corner handles and drag that so it's nice and small. I'm going to drag it back onto the artboard and zoom in, Control plus, and then I'm going to resize this to make it fit just right. 3 inches isn't big, but it's a good size for a decal or something if we decide to print these later. Now with this image, what I want to do is do what's called rasterize it, which means it's going to kind of bring it down. It's a high quality picture, but I don't need it high quality for this. So I'm going to go to Object here, and with the image selected, Object, then Rasterize. I'm going to change the resolution to medium, and the background, I'm going to make it white, or sorry, transparent, and that's fine. And then OK. So you can see it kind of rasterized it. It lowered the quality a little bit, which is okay. And then what I want to do with the image still selected, I'm going to go to this option for image trace. I'm going to go to default, and it kind of made it into a graphic already. There's still some things that could be tweaked about it, make it better, like this big blob right here. And so I'm going to go to this right here where it says image trace preset, and then there's a little box. Click on that. Typically it's going to open like this. I'm going to see the tracing result. It's black and white mode here. And the threshold is what's going to determine what's black and what's white. So as you adjust this, since that image had a slight shadow on the bottom corner, it shows as a dark space. And so I can kind of tweak that a little bit and bring it down so I don't see that dark space anymore. And this looks like a nice sharp graphic that I can use for this assignment. So I'm going to take that and going to, if I want to further tweak it and kind of get even more detailed, I can go to the advanced settings here and I can adjust the paths. You can see how that kind of smooths things out. I'm trying to be careful not to lose a lot of detail. Some things I might have to compromise on and be okay with. Corners, you can kind of decide smooth corners, round corners. The more or less you do that, the more it's going to kind of adjust those. Noise, which is kind of like, I don't know, almost like the quality of the image itself. And so some of these things, I think this is looking pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with this. If I can go simplify, I can do that, but I'm not sure about that because it smoothed things out maybe a little too much for my taste. Anyways, you can play around with these things and decide. You can see like it can really get really abstract looking. Play around with these and decide what's the best look for yours. Every graphic's going to be a little bit different. So once I'm done with that, I can have this turn into fills or strokes. Depending on what you want to go for, you can do either one. It can create stroke paths or it can create fill paths. Either way, if you do this, if you have an option to change the size of the stroke. If you want it to be mostly just outlines that you can then go back and color in later, almost like a coloring book, then you can adjust that too. So you can create different types of effects here. And once you're finished, you can, oops, see, that's not going to work. I'm going to keep it as fills on mine. And once you're finished, what you'll end up doing is closing this out, and you're happy with your design. And I'm going to go to expand with this still selected. And what expand does, because right now it's just one image still, expand is going to take that and turn them all into paths. So I can see these blue outlines around everything. That means everything has become a path. So here's what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to go to my, I still have my selection tool. Make sure everything is selected here. For this next thing, I want to drag everything out here. And this is going to make things a little bit easier to see as far as the changes I'm going to make, since it's not on a white background. Now I'm going to switch over to my direct selection tool. I'm going to click off of the artwork and then click the background parts that I don't want. So I click the white space back here. I just want that to be transparent. So I'm going to get rid of that, and I just hit delete. I can go in closer and get rid of some of these spaces too. And this right here, I don't really need. I don't want that at all. I'm going to take that and delete that out. So any little spaces and things that you see that you might not want, you can go through and delete those things out. I'm going to grab everything again, and I'm going to select everything with that selection tool. I'm going to drag it back over to my artboard. Now that this is completely turned into paths, what I can now do is use my live paint tool, and I can select different parts of this and create new colors for my graphic. Colors, if they don't show up in your fill, what you can do is open up your swatch library, and you can go to all these different types. The default swatches are here, and if you open up something like these default swatches, you can open them up here as another tab. You can simply grab this little window and drag it up on top. So if you don't see colors here that you like, you can customize your color swatches. Because there is no colors in this image to begin with, it's not going to give you a whole lot of palette to work with here. So, especially since we turned it into a black and white image. So you might have to find your own color swatches in one of these, find some good colors that you like. You can also apply gradients as well. There's gradient tools you can work with as well, and apply those to your graphic. So now it's all about customizing your graphic to be how you want it to look. I don't really want that to be black, so I'm going to undo that. And I'm going to go through and use my live paint tool and select these different areas and find good colors to apply. So let's say I wanted to make this red, and I can go here and apply colors as needed to my spaces and customize my logo design. If there's other adjustments that you need to make to your logo, you can use your direct selection tool. And let's say it didn't really clean up some of these lines as well as you'd like. You can get up close and use your selection tool and move these little guys around. Adjust your drawing to make it fit what you need it to be. So that is the basics of this. Your text can be kind of iffy depending on the quality of the text. You might have to recreate this, which you can do easily. I can delete these words here. I can come up with my own text, import my own text, custom text that you find on sites like defont.com, and type in your own text. Add a curve to it, add some different effects to it. So this is basically the last steps. If your image does not trace well, what you can still do is use that as an image reference, kind of like what we did with previous projects, and create your artwork on top of it. So basically using it as a traceable image that you can take a pen tool and shapes and create your own logo on top. Really nice and easy way to really customize a graphic that you took from pen and paper or pencil and paper and bring it into something that you can actually apply to websites, artwork, products that you design. So that's pretty much it. Once you're finished, what you're going to end up doing is go in File, Save As, save it as your name and logo. I'll do that here. I'll do Mr. Fulton underscore logo. And I'm going to make sure it's saved to my student drive, and I'm going to hit save. And I'm going to hit OK on this. And one last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to file, I'm going to save a copy. Actually, I'm going to go to export as, and I'm going to choose JPEG. I'm going to use artboards, and I'm going to save the same name right there too. I'm going to export that. RGB, all the colors, high quality here, maximum, and OK. Now I'll have a JPEG that I can submit onto the image file I can submit on the Schoology, as well as that Illustrator file. And that's all.